Okay, well this is a grape trellis that I built this spring. It's about 50 foot long. I put 4x4 posts, buried them. Well, these were 8-foot posts, and I buried them. They're 2 feet in the ground, so they're 5'6" at the top. And then again, I used those same anchors. And like I said, you buy them from Amazon. These are Grape Trellis for 9-gauge wire. Strung the wire through. One thing I might do different is I didn't do any tiebacks to it. I did research on it and whatnot, and they said, well, anything under 50 foot and under, you don't need a tieback. Well, the first thing I did was I started tightening the wire, and the post leaned on me, and there was no going back, especially with this kind of anchor. Once you tighten it so far, there's no releasing the pressure. You cut the wire and start over, and I did not want to do that. So I'm just gonna have to deal with the lean, and then eventually I'll do a tieback. But again, here's my irrigation. I've got a shut-off valve, so I can shut it off so that when I'm watering my trees differently than I water these, I can shut off the water to this. But I'm a good 300 feet or better from the house, so I buried a lot of line. This irrigation line is relatively inexpensive. I was surprised. I think I put in all total somewhere around 600 to 700 feet of irrigation line, because it goes snakes all over the yard here. But anyways, let's go down the line here. These are ERS. These are Somerset. This is a Somerset grape. This is a table grape. All these back here are my table grapes. So I'm kind of looking forward to eating these in a couple years. And again, I got the drip irrigation. I probably got it a little far away. Maybe just a little too far. And the whole idea about having it drip so far away is to get the roots to creep towards where the water's coming from. And although this is a half gallon per hour, over 8 hours I do it in a day, it'll open into a wide plume of moisture that should cover the grapes. You don't want it directly right on the root, right next to the plant, because then the roots won't want to search for water, and then you'll get your root ball will stay really close to the vine. So this helps spread the roots a little bit. Again, I used grass clippings, try to keep the weed population down a bit. I kind of screwed up on this one. I've been trimming off these spurs a little bit here, or these buds that come up between the leaves, and last night I was picking off a tendril, and instead I clipped off a leaf, and I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen now. I made a mistake. So I'm sure it'll start a new shoot somewhere, and we'll have to start over again. But this particular one, both of them right here, I got two vines of each type of grape on the back here, and they're both, they're only 2 foot tall, if they're 2 foot tall, and so they're not doing too well, and they're really kind of spindly. I know Roy always said pencil thickness, and all I can do is hope that it increases in size, because even the bare root itself that I was given, if you can look right here, it's not even the size of a pencil, so I couldn't cut it down far enough to get a pencil size thickness vine out of this one. So we'll just have to see what happens. Again, this is another Somerset grape growing. I spray the fruit tree spray on here to keep the bugs off, and then the copper fungicide to keep the diseases in check, and they seem to be doing fairly well. I had some insect problem earlier in the year, and that's the problem with very young plants. When you only have a few buds and you only have a couple leaves, and insects start eating the leaves, it's like, then you're really screwed. So once these vines get established, you know, if the insects take a couple leaves from me, it's not going to be any big deal anymore. But it's starting them, that's the hard part. Once you get it started, it's not a big deal. It'll take a while to come back. I'm an impatient guy, so I get frustrated when things get stunted. And again, all these plants back here, and I don't know why, maybe it's because of this nice bush right behind it, did not get any frost damage to it, so the buds stayed well. So these were the only ones that were protected. This is a Reliance table grape, and it's growing fairly well. It has reached the mid wire. Nice healthy plant. And again, I come out every night and I take these little buds off because they just sap the strength away from the growth of the tree. You don't want this to start coming out until you are ready to reach your target height, and then you want these to establish cordons on either side, one going this way and one going that way. But we have a ways to go yet before we get to the top wire. So this is another Reliance, and it's doing even better than the previous one. That bud's not ready to be picked yet. The leaves are doing well, and this is what I was talking about. This is the leaf that was eaten early in its development. Again, another one up here. You know, so we try to stop that, but you know, there's only so much you can do. I try to use an organic spray on it and whatnot. So, but you do only what you can do. Mother Nature is a fickle beast. Okay, and these are the final couple of vines here. This is an Edelweiss, Wisconsin grape, and I should probably point out that I'm here in Wisconsin, central Wisconsin, and all these grapes that I've chosen are supposedly good for my region. This was developed in I think Osseo, Wisconsin, so we know that it is good for our region. And it's doing fairly well as well. And this was a cutting. I actually have had this in a glass of water for about a month, and I just decided to plug it in the ground and see what it does. You know, we'll see. It might develop, and my whole idea behind this is to plant one in between each plant and go up to and use the mid cordon, or the mid wire, to stretch the vine. So we'll see how that works. I'm an experiment. This is my first year growing grapes. I don't know anything about them. I try to learn as much as I can by watching YouTube and whatnot. So hopefully, you know, you can learn with me as we go. But these are doing really well. A little insect damage quite a while ago, but overall the plant seems to be doing well. I use this tape. This is nursery tape at first to tie my vines, and this is really, although it's somewhat stretchable and somewhat flexible, when you want to untie it, it's a pain in the butt. Like I said, it doesn't stretch near as much as you might think. So I didn't want to damage the vines, so I switched to these footy socks, and this just seems to be working so much better. They stretch really well. They're easy to untie. They'll last years. You know, after these vines get established, I only need to tie it at the wire, you know, on each side. So I'll be taking these off once this vine is trained on my bamboo pole here. So it was funny because when I was pulling, this post actually stayed fairly vertical. It was the other one that moved, so you know what I'll do, tiebacks on both. As I get grapes growing and vines growing, and then there's grapes hanging, I'm sure this will be this will weigh on it, and it will need to get tightened up a little bit. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.